What's going on, you guys, and welcome to Stranded Alien Dawn. So in the last episode, we managed to get the fence done for the most part. We still have a couple parts over here to worry about, and I do believe we have a door, and did we get the... Okay, so we got the other thing done. So we have a door, a little bit of a fence, some more fence to craft. I'm going to put a door on this so we can get in and out of the other turret area that I plan on placing over here. Jack is constructing this video. As you see, we've already got some of the power primed. Nothing into it yet, but we will work on that over this video and the next one. So let's get into it. So by the time this video comes out, we'll have already had episode 1 of Jurassic World Evolution 2 available to you guys. Got the Keurig on. Oh, I need to put some water in it. Oops. But we've begun recording and uploading that series, in which I'm going to tackle all of the DFW quests, which is the Department of Fish and Wildlife. It's the initial tutorial of sorts. It lets you know, the base game, some of the new functions to it. So I'm going to tackle that. And then I'm going to, I don't know if I want to go after the chaos theory first, or if I want to go after the DLC first. I'll probably tackle the DLC first, and then I'll work on the chaos theory. As the chaos theory, it doesn't really do everything in the movies, but it starts with the first movie, Jurassic Park, the OG. And we have to, make a better park. Let me get this coffee started and see what's going on over here. Alright, so we have some gasoline, we have some scrap. One thing that I'm going to fix here that I noticed is we have plenty of metal. So never mind, that's not gonna change. However, here it is. So we need more electronics. I need CPUs. So how's the silica looking? Still have a decent amount of silica. So hopefully they'll start working on those electronics. I almost said CPU, but we only need one CPU and a lot of electronics. That's all we're missing now, you guys. We've managed to whittle out all of the wood, all of the scrap metal. Some of the missing resources for weapons, we managed to get those in stock. We more or less fixed all of our power generation for the most part. We still have a couple projects here and there that need repairs or that need to be built. In this case, there's 1, 2, 3, at least 4 of these that are currently down, and each one requires one. Yes, this over here, this requires one CPU, so that's where our CPU cost is coming from. The electronics, though, so we have the 4 from this, and then our food storage is down, as well as one over here, one of the storages. So we got food storage out, and those over there, so that's all of our electronics, more or less. We do have the Air Force up and operational again whenever I want to utilize them, but I do want to bolster their capabilities, meaning I want to get a couple more placed. There's nothing I can add into them to make them have more range or more damage or more defense, but at the very least we can get a couple more squared away. However, that's not going to be this episode. Like I said, our main priority on this episode is to hit the play button and to take care of this, the insufficient materials. I really want to start stockpiling our materials, as I have a feeling that once we start up the relay, which is what you activate to end this scenario, which we'll get to that here probably in 5-6 episodes from now. I said I didn't want to craft all of the research objects, but might as well. I do want to see what they're all about, so we might spend 2 videos working on those. So that's 7 to 8 videos from now potentially. Honestly, I don't know everything that we're going to need or how long it's going to take for all of these insufficient materials, but we've got at least 8 more videos for this series not squared away. I wish I had it squared away and that my console, saved the footage correctly, but that's not the case. No, we have about 8 more videos for this playthrough at the bare minimum. So we're about 2/3 of the way done now. It mainly all depends on our ability to make these CPUs and electronics that we need. Right now, Melody is pretty much my only worker. However, once Jack gets done with setting the traps and doing the rest of the construction around the base, he'll start to pitch in and help out with that, I believe. Let me just verify, as it's been a little while since I've looked at their activities. So yes, Jack will construct, but first he does hunting, and then he will go assist in the crafting of stuff with Melody. So that should be real soon, as Rita is also helping handling the traps over here. So I'm not sure if you guys have noticed, but I'm in an upbeat, cheering mood today. Finally made a breakthrough with my neighbor. The community cleanup, which comes through our area, tomorrow's the last day for it. So I went and I talked to him and said, hey, we haven't really introduced ourselves yet today, or we haven't really introduced ourselves quite yet, as I called the city back before. Let me start from the beginning. All right, so I bought my property. I didn't have a neighbor. I own a corner plot, and when I bought the property, the other property next door was being worked on. And part of my agreement with buying the property was that the same company that was working over there, they were going to finish the fence, which they never did. So after they more or less made it, sale ready, they got out of Dodge real quick. And then I haven't been able to find their company. It's like they just up and disappeared. They did bare minimum that they could to rake in as much money as they could, and then they just disappeared completely. But I called the city after the place had been, finished, as it was in an agreement as a part of my contract signing that they would finish the fence, which they never did. So I called the city, and, as most cities take, several years to go and actually do something. So by the time that, the city got around to coming and, handling the problem that I'd requested them 2 years ago, a new owner had bought the property. And instead of, going to them politely, they decided to chew them a new one and made it their problem. So again, the company that dipped out, they screwed over 2 families and caused a 2-year-long conflict between the 2 of us. Now, this conflict, there was no word spoken. They just moved in, and the veteran next door is harassing them about a fence. So we were off to a bad footing. Now today, I finally met with the owner. I introduced myself to him. He has a caretaker of the property that, I also introduced myself to. And we removed this tacky piece of fencing. Now it was like some particle board covered with, I'm not sure what it really is, but it's like plastic covered over particle board or pressed wood. It's not meant for outside construction. It's meant for inside, more or less. But they decided to throw this up. It wasn't even, held in together correctly, you guys. So once I unscrewed it from the main post holding my gate up, the whole thing literally fell over. Like, I had to have the other guy help me lower it down, but the whole thing literally came down. We're talking about a 20-foot section of fence, ladies and gentlemen. A 20-foot section of fence that was not secured. Obviously we did a little bit of securing by putting a screw there, but that was all that was holding this thing up. Absolutely nothing. Just sitting there on a prayer. That's what was holding my fence together. Was prayers, not even duct tape. I would have welcomed some duct tape at this point. Had I known the state of my fence, I would have torn it down a long time ago. But, that's besides the point. But we finally made an introduction. I learned my neighbor's names, learned that he has two daughters. His mother-in-law lives with him, who is their main financier for a lot of the projects going in. Obviously, new people that buy a house that are going to have a lot of debt that they're working out, and it seems like most people my age have some sort of family living with them, and that family helps contribute to the projects around the property. But I'm finally on first name basis with them. We've got the entire fence situation squared away. As what we're going to do right now, how much it's potentially going to cost. And they're cool with going halves. We have some problems with the fence. They put the planks on the wrong side of the post. So there's a gap that goes underneath. So they're cool about us, flopping the planks to the other side, which would remove, it's not really removing a little bit of property from them, because as the posts are on my property. So by putting the actual fencing on his side of the property, it would give me all of my property back and give him his true property line back. But yeah, some progress is being made with my neighbors. It's a fantastic thing to see and witness. I'm all about being neighborly, and well, I felt like I was being snubbed, but then we had a chance to talk and work our things out, and he understands that I didn't call the city on him, and the whole situation of entailed afterwards. And yeah, we're on first name basis now. I've been conversing with them over text for the last few hours, getting to know their family a little bit more, letting them know about my family a little bit more, like our first names, what we do for a living, that kind of stuff. So amazing progress, you guys. I am so happy, so happy. This could have gone in a completely another way. They could have told me to shove it up my ass and go on with my day. Sorry about the A-bomb, but I am a grown man, and I don't want to have to use all the kid words all the time. I'm not opposed to it, but I am an adult, and I do have a variety to my language, though as you guys have noticed, I really try to keep it in check. But I'm only human, so occasionally I'm gonna drop something like the A-bomb, and we're not dropping anything more severe than that. Yeah, lots of progress, and we're gonna get lots of progress in this game. Jack is constructing the fence. My salvage is finally back up to 1.7k. We were struggling there for a minute, you guys. The very top left resource, that's the scrap metal. We were at about like maybe fluctuating between 0 and 200 for the longest time. We're almost back up to 1,000 wood, which is the fourth resource on the left hand side. We're at 505 hay, 2.3k sticks, which usually just mostly go to running the furnaces over here. We have 209 stone, no concrete mixed up, 637 metal alloys, which we are mostly smelting from my stockpile of metal ore, which we're down to our last 10. Now those metal ores are going to get mixed with these silicas here, and that's going to create these. The CPUs and the electronics. The CPU is, let's see here, the CPU cost is 25 silicon and 5 metal alloys, as opposed to the electronics that we need a lot more of. That's a little bit more expensive on the metal, as the cost goes up from 5 to 10, but the silicon comes down from 25 to 10. So it's not going to be too much, and then obviously we want to get this AI core built so that I can get some other things going here. As mentioned in previous videos, our main focus here is still the service bots. The harvest bot will go around and, as the name implies, it will harvest and plant. It'll also butcher the animals, and it transports goods. On top of that, the service bot will go and make my food for me. It'll do a lot of things, honestly. It'll also butcher the animals. It'll transport anything. It'll take resources from point A to point B to get them prepped for construction. It'll do all of that good stuff. It seems like Ken was already being attacked, so we might have a problem. Yep, they're over here. Alright, you guys, let's go ahead and engage the Air Force. They wanted to go after Ken, so we're going to send the Air Force after them. Oh, you don't mess with my settlers. No. Wait, sorry, not my settlers. This is the military outpost. You don't mess with my soldiers. You can go ahead and mess with my settlers all you want, but you don't mess with my military. Now, being ex-military myself, I hold that military to the highest esteem. I'm gonna murder all of you. And in the name of the Imperium. May the Sith Empire live forever. Let's go ahead and speed up time. We got a decent amount done, you guys. We got the wall completed. That still needs to be built, but for the most part, the traps had been reset, which they will get activated over here, which Jack did build these. So we have this nice little defensive section here to begin with. Instead of having to wait to come to here, we can potentially take care of the bugs before they even reach the U-bend. So this portion of the U-bend. They'll hit the first one, obviously, but they'll have a little bit more problem here. And then by the time they get to this little section here, the T section, they should more or less be dead. It'll just be the more tankier things, like maybe the Mantis right here. The Scissorhands Demolishers. And since we started attacking early, let's go ahead and mark them for cancellation. We don't need the resources currently, as I have a freezer full of bug parts. And if you guys have been following along, you too have a refrigerator full of bug parts. Even with these malfunctioning, well, I guess we're not at a complete refrigerator full, but we have enough. At least for the meantime, for the current moment. Alright, so about half of them are already been wiped out. Whoa, whoa, whoa! What is this? No, y'all get up there. What are you doing? I did not say undraft. What is this game on right now? Please tell me there's nobody in the line of fire currently. Okay, let me go ahead and select Jack, get everybody selected, and run them out into the yard. And they've virtually all been destroyed. Go ahead and unselect, and let's cancel those orders. Don't want the bug parts, you guys. Don't want them. Don't need them. At least not currently. Maybe here in the next attack or two, I'll want to obviously harvest some bodies. But like I said, right now we've got more than enough. No need in overstocking currently, as these are malfunctioning, so they won't even hold it correctly. They'll just spoil anyways. So again, don't worry about the bug parts too much, unless of course you really want to. This heat wave is really draining my power, so I'm gonna need to get that squared away and looked at here in a moment. And it's gonna have to start with those electronics. Really need them. So let's move over here. I'm going to shift this up in priority. I'm going to shift that up in priority. That way once we get everything in store, we'll build those. Why am I doing clothing? It's a lot of traps that have to get reset. And yeah, don't worry about the power right now, you guys. It is a heat wave on my game. I'm not sure if you guys are experiencing one on yours. These seats could be all RNG when it comes to the storm frequency, and I am playing on the hard difficulty, which will bump up the frequency of storms and the severity of them and all that good stuff. I just didn't realize it was going to affect it this much. We used to have good power generation, and now we're really struggling. I mean, that 4 out of 40 shows you how bad a heat wave will affect your wind turbines. But hopefully it won't last more than a few days. So I think I'm going to grab Ken, and I'm going to have him assist with handling the traps, as I am also going to do with Rita up in this section. I'm going to grab Melody. Sorry, stop making armor, Melody. I need you to handle some traps. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab Lara. And guess what, you guys? We're going to go handle some traps. And then the same thing with... Okay, so now that we've got enough metal, you guys, I'm going to deselect the salvaging projects that we already have in store and hopefully get Ken to assist in the construction process, or at the very least to help, craft a few things up. You see what he's currently doing. He's getting food for... Okay, so he's going into his crafting mode, which is perfect. He's going to handle this a little bit. We're going to get our stocks up, and then he's probably going to go down and work on one of the many projects. Melody's doing the crafting of weapons and armors, so Ken might go ahead and... Never mind, we're not going to be working on this as we need the power. So he'll probably go and do whatever. At least until the power comes on. Let me see. So it looks like our limit has been reached. Let me go ahead and disable antibiotics from being created in that process, as we've already got them growing freely from this, the cure plant. Sorry for that moment of silence there, you guys. I had some family come out to grab a quick snack. And whenever somebody that lives in my home comes out, I'm obviously going to mute up, just in case they do decide to talk to me. For those wondering, I am the owner of my home. I have my family that also lives with me, alongside my wife and daughter. So, it took a lot of time to get my own home, you guys. A lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of sweat and tears. And now that I've got it, it's even more sweat and tears. Something always seems to be falling apart. Started with the pool. That cost a decent chunk of money, about $10,000 to repair it. And then we had some solar problems, some pump problems with our pool. We still have a couple pool problems. We're trying to figure it out with our pool guy. And he likes to experiment with some new stuff. And me, honestly, if it saves me $1 and it works just efficiently as any of the other products, well, I'm willing to give anything a try. Though, obviously, if it fails, I'm going to tell you to go back to the products that work, that we know work, that are tried and true and tested. So he's testing out some new things, and we currently can't swim in the water, unfortunately, as much as I would love to. We are just barely skating by you guys. That is not good. But at least Ken is working on those electronics, which I really needed him to do those. And it seems like Melody is assisting with it as well. You know, Ken just took a break from it. They're swapping back and forth, which honestly I prefer Melody. I think she has the higher of the crafting skills currently. Yeah, Melody has the highest of the crafting skill, whereas Ken in second place. You know, he's close, but obviously the higher your crafting skill, the faster you're gonna make it. And I need these electronics built immediately. So now that we have two crafters, one person is gonna be working on armor, and one person is gonna be working on the power. At least until the night falls and you'll see here everything shuts down. But Jack's reached level 8 construction. Nice! He'll be able to put these back together by resetting them significantly faster now. And sorry for the unpowered devices. I'm a horrible host. And no, it's a heat wave that's really affecting us. I did manage to get all our power generation back up and operational, minus the few solar panels. So before it all started malfunctioning, we were about double on our power generation to consumption, and maybe a little bit over that. 1 o'clock. The bug shouldn't attack until morning. I'm hoping. Really hoping. Let me see where they're attacking. Oh, that's really close. Alright. So, nope. Just bring y'all in here for the time being, as we're about to get attacked. Come on. Come on then. You can go ahead and attack me. I'm not going to bite. You're wasting precious time over here, animals. Thank you. Wasting very precious time that I could be using to craft electronics and CPUs. But we now have a third flak cannon in the mix. Soon to have a fourth, and then a fifth and a sixth. So these flyers are about to meet their match. And then let me go ahead and select the drones after these little things. Did I select them all? I did. Okay. There's one slacking off somewhere. That's fine. Let's go ahead and undraft our survivors. And allow them to get back to work. There it is. There's number 6. What's this doing here? Oh, there's 2 of these. Okay, where's the other one? There it is. Hunt that as well. Okay. Now, Ken's gonna go assist over here with this. At least I hope he's going to. Looks like he's just running straight up in there to die. But yeah, let's go ahead and speed up time. We'll see how things work out. I'm going to pay very special attention to each of the 6 up there at the top and make sure that none of them get hurt as soon. Okay, never mind. I don't have to finish that. But I was about to say, as soon as I see any kind of, health loss, I was going to manually select them and then run them all the way back to the base. But we didn't need to do that, as before any of them got hurt, we managed to kill the remaining of the enemies. Now that that's done, we can get back to our electronic need. Hopefully we can get a couple more of those squared away in these solar panels. And then I lost another one. Thankfully all it takes is metal alloy to repair those, which we do have a stockpile in hand. And then I believe it'll be Jack that runs over to repair it. Nope. Or it'll be, yeah, there goes Jack. I was about to say, never mind, it might be Rita, but Rita's handling the traps, and Ember is reconstructing the floor. We'll love to see that. We almost got the entire foundation squared away, ladies and gentlemen. It's almost time to worry about the next floor. and then the next floor. And then lots of power up here. Lots of power. Maybe even some more turrets. Definitely some flat cannons pointed towards where I'm going to put the device. And then I'm going to add in a couple defenses. I'm going to tear down this wall right here and add in a defensive system here as well, so that, you know, actually all of the entrances will be covered, because this one will be taking care of majority of this. This one will be taking care of majority of this. They'll both be working on this section. And this one obviously is going to be taking care of them as soon as they come in, and then once they start to wrap around. So we'll have multiple lanes of fire for all three of the main entrances of the base. So up here, down here, and over here. And then, assuming anything gets in, I'm also planning on putting a couple turrets up here. And then, yeah, we're going to have, you know, flat cannons back here, because nothing's going to get past any of the front walls, any of the front turrets. They will all get melted before they even reach this door. So we're going to concentrate well, not all, but majority of our flat cannons there. I'm going to keep the ones here, as you know, they're close by to one another, so I can focus fire to a single location, which is mainly right about here, and take out all the flyers in large masses. So I am going to place the relay back this way, or whatever it's called. It's over here in the science, the Ansible relay. I'm going to place that over here, and then we'll knock out all of this once we have played around with everything that I've discussed from earlier in the video. You know, all of the crafting tables, the automated stuff, getting a little bit of surplus just in case. I do want to have an excess of electronic CPUs, maybe some mech cores if we can find some more. If not, I'll get a couple mechs built, get more power generation in store, maybe a couple few more refrigerators, and then obviously I'm going to want to put like a little area for my people to enjoy life in the form of the electronical goods, such as the electrical goods, such as the let's see, where's that? The VR set, and then there's an arcade. So just a couple few things for them to entertain themselves with, and they're not up here eating or cooking. And sweet, now Jack is getting to the crafting, which means we'll have 3 people crafting at all times. You know what? If they're doing that, what I can do is I can square away some of these research projects now that I have 2 people in the 2 people over there. So I'm gonna want my wine, I'm gonna want my stimulants, I'm gonna want the healing. Let's take all the resources out of the equation here. Let's go over here and we'll do the pulse rifle and the rail guns. And we'll let Melody get to work on that. Now, once I see that nobody's working on these, like if Jack decides to move over here and work on something here while Ken is over here, I'm going to disable all of it. But yeah, we're mainly going to make sure that we get these resources stockpiled, you guys, which we are finally beginning to do now. Let me see. And we're just a little over halfway done with the video. I think we might be able to get at least half, you guys. If not, I'm hoping and praying that we get all of the insufficient materials done. I want to begin my surplus. Now, I know I made a title of a video a couple videos ago saying that we were making a major comeback when we really weren't, but it was a major comeback to me. You know, we finally were getting some building done, we were getting some resources squared away, repairing a couple of things that were breaking down, and then it all went south again. But now that everybody's jobs are squared away efficiently, you know, we already did all our wood cutting so that Jack can come in here and, you know, craft, and we've already gone out and done all our salvage with Ken so that he can come in and assist. Melody was the only one working on it, which now she's back researching. And I will have my weapons, my armors, and my everything again. This is going to be great, you guys. This is a very, very good day. You know, aside from my mother-in-law, you know, swerving around somebody that was crossing the street, and and that somebody just happened to be the oldest brother of the kids that make the habit of doing donuts and peeling out in front of my house. So that didn't go over well, as I've had to gone down there and talk to them several times, and now they've had to come talk to me about something in my household. A little embarrassed, not gonna lie. It could have been avoided, but yeah, just leave it at that. A little disappointed. I'm over here trying to be the middleman, I guess. It's not fun. It's never fun having to apologize for somebody else's actions and behaviors. But, honestly, it doesn't affect me too much, as I know it wasn't me, it wasn't I who did these, or who did this, so, no harm, no foul to me. But honestly, I did have to sit down and have a conversation. But, yeah. Apparently he was being a little dramatic, but then again, if you have to swerve around somebody that needs to show them the road, and honestly, it doesn't matter if there's a crosswalk or not, they do have the right of way. But let's see here. What is Ken up to? Ken's doing that. What's Jack up to? Eating. And assembling. Perfect. I still don't... What happened? I thought I made another one. And who's destroying a wooden fence? Or who's breaking stuff? What's going on over here? Oh, hunt this. He's probably trying to get out. Okay, deselect the butchering process. Yeah, it was probably just a creature that was stuck in there, you guys, and that's what broke the fence. Yeah, 100%. There's a creature inside trying to get out. Okay. I thought my base was legitimately under attack by something. Alright, so Jack is unarmed now. He wants to go to bed. But he's gonna get a weapon in the form of a pulse rifle. And then I can select Amber if I can find her. There she is. And I can swap her out with the laser pistol. Perfect. Now I have 3 people with, good firearms, and then 3 people with bows and arrows. Which we'll get those squared away here eventually. Once we get our electronics and our CPU need under control, I do plan on, hooking everybody up with some advanced weaponry in the form of the pulse rifle and the, what's it called? The railgun. That's right, the railgun. The railgun 2.0 and the pulse rifle 2.0. I'm going to hook them up with that. I'm going to give them their armor upgrade. Take care of any other clothing needs that they might have. Get some of those squared away. And then build everything I need to build. And then once we're done with that, we'll get that Ansible relay crafted and start the end game. Jack is taking a little bit longer as he's 3rd place in the crafting speed. I honestly don't know why they have him doing that. So what I'm going to do is... Ken and Melody... Ooh, good job, Ken. Giggity. Alright, so you know what that means, ladies and gentlemen. That means I'm building them a new home. And we're going to build this one. Yep. Construct that flooring. Now, whenever some of my survivors get married, or if they ever do decide to get married in any of the playthroughs, I always give them their own home. So we're gonna get that squared away now. I was not anticipating, this turn of events. Good for Ken, good for Melody. I'm glad they were able to find some love. And he's already proposed to her. They just became lovers, and he's already proposed to her, you guys. Yeah, get to work, Ember. I mean, honestly, where is it? Yeah, let's have ourselves a wedding. And where's a good place to put the wedding? Here we go. Excuse me, wedding arch, thank you. Okay, and then we're gonna go over to regular chairs. We're gonna get the metal ones. We're gonna have this be legit. And then one space, and then one space. We only have 6 people, but you need a couple rows of chairs, you guys. Just like this, make it look like it's a legit wedding. The bare minimum. Give people some seating options. And there we go. So all of this might get crafted tomorrow. And then after it gets crafted, I'll transfer it to be constructed with the carbon nanotubes. Speaking of, I should probably get Ember to go grab some. Yeah, I'm gonna need Ember to go and harvest these ones over here now. It's not a problem though, we've got a plethora of them. No, I don't want that mine, I want this. So we've got 140 over here, just waiting to be snagged up and utilized. And a nice little pile of metal ore. Nice, we'll grab that too. Once I get a couple more of the Air Force drones available, we'll come tackle this problem, and then this problem, and this problem, and that problem, and all the problems. At least, you know, surrounding our base, the general vicinity. I might even come down here and handle that problem. And I think that's it. Yep. So we'll handle those once we get, you know, double. It's pretty much the rest of them built. Yeah. Okay. So I'll get a couple more, just like 2 more. We got some hungry pests. Let me see where they're at exactly. Okay. So let's start with a wider angle, a wider approach. And there. Being hunted by 221. Now those 221 are being hunted by me. Go get them, bots. And now that we're actually getting surplus, let me take a look at my power. So we're back up to double now that the heat wave's gone. So we're gonna activate some of these for construction. And by some of them, I really mean all of them. Which is going to make our CPU and electronic resource requirement to shoot right through the roof. It's pretty much tripled now, but that's fine. These things are very, very needy, so let's actually just, let's hold off. Yeah, let's hold off. I have other things that need to be attended to first before we do any of that stuff, you guys. So Jack is injured and he's headed back to base. It shouldn't mess with him too much. Man, these things ran everywhere. I'm gonna cancel orders. We'll begin canceling all the orders on all the ones that have been slaughtered. Obviously, we still want to have them hunted. Let a little bit more time pass. Speed up time. It doesn't like me. It doesn't like me playing at 3 times speed. So unfortunately, we have lost the Prince of Darkness. Yesterday, the man, the myth, the legend, the Bad Eater himself, Ozzy Osbourne, passed away. You know, the one man that we thought was for sure going to be the one that proved that immortality was possible. You know, the man who has done more drugs than any other human being I know of and has lived longer than majority of us who enjoy a, healthy lifestyle as opposed to, experimentation. That man was an absolute legend. He's going to be missed by more people than anybody can like physically realize. It's unfortunate, but yeah, life happens, you guys. It's never fun. So my condolences, or yeah, my heart goes out to the Osborne family. My condolences for their departed. But Ozzy was in pain, and thankfully he is no longer in pain. Okay, so we're about 46 minutes. So I'm gonna wrap this recording up here shortly, and then I'm gonna get to work on another Jurassic Park. I don't know, or Jurassic World Evolution. I don't know if you guys would like to see 2 videos a day. Honestly, I have no problem coming into my living room here every night, knocking out 2, 3, 4 videos in my recordings. So long as they all record properly, and uploading maybe the Stranded Alien Dawn that we do at night, while also incorporating the Jurassic World Evolution into the mix, maybe during the morning, or if you guys just want to see the one a day, I'm also, again, not a problem. We'll just keep doing what we're doing by alternating them, Or, again, you can also, alternatively, let me know if you would rather me just finish one series before working on another. There's the stone wall. Sorry, I was trying to figure out where it was. Right there. Alright, so we're going to get this place upgraded. At the very least, get the selection going. As Ember is out there harvesting and the bots are going to be transporting it in. We went from like 800 or 80 to over 700 now. Reconstruct it all to the carbon. Reconstruct those stone ceilings. So yeah, lots of things looking up for me in the future, you guys. Which is going to be great for my morale. Stone. There we go. Huh? I had to reconstruct some flooring? I'm confused. Okay, so it's probably targeting these ones. And I can't do anything because of this, potentially? Or this, I don't know. But, yeah, we'll just have to wait. I can, however, do this. And it should allow me to do it. Nope, it's not allowing me to do it. Why? Oh, because we haven't constructed the walls. That's right. We haven't constructed the walls. I was wondering what was slowing me down. And it's that right there. Alright, you guys. I'll take one more look at this timer. I know you probably hate hearing me saying, how much time have we been recording now? But unfortunately, it's something that I gotta do. Not the speaking it out loud part, the other part. Letting you know I'm gonna do a time check and all that stuff. But Yeah, it's unfortunately something that I'm gonna have to do here quite frequently. I wish I could just record as much as I wanted to and then upload that, but unfortunately, life isn't that kind to me. I wonder why it allowed me to upgrade these. It doesn't make any sense. Yeah, requires very strong. It is very strong. Oh, let me see if it even upgraded it. Yeah, only that one spot. Alright, so we're about to be attacked by quite a few things, actually. So, let's target them for elimination. And hit start. Allow the Air Force to go out and handle some of the problem before the problem decides to come into the base. Because I still want to try and get as much reconstructed as I can before they tear up these. Ken, what are you doing? Oh well. He's deciding to fight from the inside of the base, which means I'll have to walk through my stuff. Alright, so I need to select my people, draft them, and retreat to here. And run! Lara's getting hurt, so I'm going to deselect Lara and I'm going to deselect Ken, as they're both hurt. And they'll run to base. And then I'm going to select, I want to say it's Rita? Nope. Okay. I think Jen might, or one of them might treat themselves. Well, let me see who it is actually. Ember. Or not. What are you guys doing? Ah. Go lay down and heal. Good lord. Hopefully Ken just needs to rest. And then he can go handle Lara. Oh, what am I doing? Ember. Undraft, however. No, you're not going to heal Ken. You're going to heal Lara. That's what you're going to do first, because Ken's just fine. He's not bleeding. I'm so lucky. I'm not really lucky, but I'm so happy I learned this little trick, you guys. The whole triangle trick on characters. It's been exceedingly useful. So that's where she heals Lara. She'll go and take care of Ken. The bots are slowly whittling these enemies down to nothing. They're taking on majority of the small things first. I was hoping they would go for the demolishers. Go for the Junos first and then the manhunting, but, well. At least they're being hunted. And they're finally into the trap field, so they're taking damage. I am going to grab these three and shove them up on the roof, allowing them to shoot over the walls and at the targets. Since the walls are carbon, they can take significantly more damage. Okay, we need to target him. Killing everything. Why is Lara hurt? Oh, Lara's recovering. Yes, that's right, that's right. then after we get done with this attack, we'll go ahead and call it. I said after the attack. Why are they harvesting? Undraft, cancel orders. Come up here, cancel orders on these. Cancel. Yeah, you handle them traps. Cancel. Lots of cancel. Move the harvesting of all the bugs. I know we said, yeah. Because, you're also talking with me, right? But I know that I said that we would probably get the bug parts from like the next round or two, but we still have plenty. A couple hundred. Once I get down to like the last 40, I might harvest some of them. But again, my main priority is getting the electronics down, which we managed to get a couple crafted, which is really good to see. But my survivors did take a temporary break to get some stuff crafted, so they took a break from making the electronics, or they would have gotten more done. They'll probably get all of that squared away in the next video, which I don't know when we're going to start recording on that. Maybe tomorrow, the night after, something like that. But I also have some family coming over, so probably Thursday night I might do multiple Jurassic World evolution recordings. Hopefully I find some time throughout the day. If not, we're gonna take or if you don't see any videos, then that means that we're just taking a short break. But still keep an eye out for videos as I plan to release them. Maybe not every single night, but at least frequently enough to stay relevant within YouTube's nonsense. Well, thank you guys for coming through. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to smack that like button. It really helps, us stay in your algorithm. It also lets me know that you enjoyed the content and that I should focus more on what happened in videos. But yeah, thank you guys for coming through. I hope you all have a fantastic rest of your day. You guys take care, you stay safe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Later, guys.